Ruminating bombards us when we identify ourselves with things that we are not. Oh, that is so good. How to silence the mind, or AKA ruminating. If you have not heard of the term ruminating, basically it means to regurgitate something over and over and over again. Some familiar terms that we've heard throughout life is chew the cud, or chew over again, or to contemplate, to deliberate, to ponder, and to question. So we'll hear often, okay, how do I silence my mind? My mind is so busy. How do I stop ruminating? Ruminating, like I said, is like regurgitation, or chewing something again and again and again while spitting it up. I know personally I've been there before, and there's a lot of other people that have been there too. So it's not an uncommon thing to ruminate. We do these often when we're having negative thoughts, or when we've experienced a negative situation. Most of the time you'll see ruminating in love situations, or if you've been with someone for a long time and you've divorced your spouse or something like that, or you began dating someone and you really like that person, and months down the road it just ends. So that will keep us stuck in these thoughts of what if, or maybe I should have, or would have, or could have, or what did I do? So we're constantly pondering and deliberating and ruminating over the idea of something that we wanted but did not happen. It's a very, very, very common thing. And that term ruminating to me is so funny. It sounds weird to say, but it's a real word. So often it comes with negative thinking, a negative mindset or thoughts, right? Something else that it comes with is not really envy, but that why not me? Why isn't it happening to me right now? When is it going to be my turn? Why her? Why him? Or why them? Or why? So usually the term why always precedes the other words that come after the term why. And so that causes a lot of ruminating as well. Like I said, it's all very, very common. Wishing and hoping for a different outcome. Wishing we can go back into the past and bring, the past into the future, but in a different way, in a better way. And we're human. We just can't do that. So I know for me, it's a personal note. I've been there many times, and I've had to really sit with myself to truly understand why I'm stuck in this position. Why am I stuck here just ruminating? So that's really good if you find yourself trying to silence your mind because it's just so busy and you don't know how to get going or how to quiet the noise and declutter, so to speak. Taking a moment to sit with self and analyzing the thoughts that we're having really helps us. So to analyze the situation is normal. It's completely normal. But getting stuck in the analysis of the thoughts is the abnormal part. To me, that's the very dangerous part. Getting stuck in the pondering or the ruminating, the deliberating, the wishing, the yearning. So getting stuck there it becomes problematic, because naturally when we're stuck in a place, we're no longer growing. And when we're no longer growing, we're no longer thriving. In essence, we're not living. Yes, we're breathing, we have a heartbeat, but we're still not living life to the fullest. So that's the dangers of ruminating, or trying to silence your mind, but getting stuck in the process of trying to silence your mind because it's analyzing the situation over and over and over again. So that's the dangerous part. You'll also hear, and to be honest, I've heard a lot of doctors say this too, because like you all, I like to look at other videos, to try to help expand my mind, so to speak, or to help me stop ruminating, so to speak. And I hear a lot of suggestions as, start distracting your mind or find something to distract yourself from the painful situations. However, friends, I'm not fond of this particular method of healing. And I'll tell you why. When it comes to ruminating, it's the process of thinking about something that impacted us or affected us in a negative manner. So 9 times out of 10, we just cannot brush that away or distract that away. It's going to always return. That's why dealing with the root of the problem, not distracting ourselves from the problem, dealing with the root of the problem is key. Anybody can distract themselves from the real problem, but if you never cut it at the root, you never heal. And if you never heal, guess what? You're stuck ruminating. You're stuck with a cluttered mind. You're stuck trying to silence your mind. And not only that, you're stuck asking yourself, how do I silence my mind? How do I stop ruminating? It's ruining my life. That's why cutting it from the root will always be the key, not distracting yourself from it. Creating a distraction is ignoring critical problems or ignoring the critical problem. We can know that there is a problem, but rather than fixing it, we dismiss it altogether. Or worse, some of us pretend as though the problem never existed, as if nothing ever happened, hurting people in the long run. Because we're hurting, us dismissing the problem or pretending like it never happened hurts others as well, because hurting people hurt people. That's a saying we've heard forever, especially when it comes to silencing our minds. We have to deal with the problem, not focus on it alone, not just sit and obsess over the problem, but we must deal with it. I've been there, guys. I can't tell you, how many times I've been there. I've had to sit with myself and look at myself in the mirror. I had to do some mirror work to say, you know what? I need to fix this because it's just not right. It's not me. And I want to free my mind. Now, I don't want to run away from my mind, because we can do that as well. We see it all over the world. People running away from their minds, and they tend to be in a position in which they should not be in life. So we don't want to run away from our minds, but we do want to deal with the problems that are there so we're free and we don't hurt other people in the long run. So that's why distracting the mind when it comes to ruminating is not a good thing. So like I said, something that we can all do is genuinely sit with ourselves in reflection, because reflection is an opportunity to analyze our feelings. When we can reflect on something in a positive manner, I'm not saying that there's not negative qualities to the situation, but when we can truly sit and reflect on what has happened to us in a positive manner, we have to take that opportunity and use it in the betterment of healing ourselves. That's a good thing. Analysis is one of the main components of emotional and mental healing. I'm gonna say that again because that's really good to me. Analysis is one of the main components of emotional and mental healing, real whole healing. To analyze the situation, not getting stuck there ruminating in it, regurgitating the situation, chewing it over and over and over again, and then regurgitating it, but analyzing it, right? Sitting with the situation, the troubles, whatever's troubling your mind. When we can sit and analyze it and say, okay, this is it. This is why this is happening. We can then silence our mind. We can start working towards silencing our minds the right way. But a personal side note for me, when it comes to ruminating or silencing, if I can say that word right, silencing my mind, I like to break the overall process into 4 steps. This also helped me get over my mother's passing in 2020. My mother was my best friend, and in 2020 she passed from breast cancer, and so that was very detrimental to my heart in my mind. One of the things that helped me get over that, besides God giving me peace that surpasses all understanding, I had to accept the problem. So when it came to ruminating or trying to silence my mind when it came to my mother's death, I had to accept the problem. So I had to accept that there was a problem which caused my mother's sickness. So I had to accept that. After accepting it, I had to feel it. I had to feel it. In other words, I couldn't numb myself. I couldn't allow myself to become numb, because when we do that, healing doesn't take place, and we yet again end up hurting other people down the line. So I had to truly sit and feel all of those emotions, and they were downright painful. I remember just crying, tears flowing from my face. Mama, I miss you. But I had to feel it, and feeling it allowed me to release it. So I had to accept it, feel it, and then I had to release it, because I knew deep down there was nothing I could do about it. Like, it was out of my hands. So I had to release it after I felt the problem, after I just marinated in it, shedded all my tears, let it all out, and then I had to release it. And lastly, I had to heal. I had to allow myself to heal. So another way to put that, I would say I had to open myself up to the idea of healing. Because it's not that healing wasn't present. See, healing is always present, but it waits on us to open ourselves up to it. Because healing sits and she waits for us to say, you know what? I need you. I can't do this alone. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I need healing. So healing is like awesome. She just sits there and she waits for us, to call upon her. And when we call upon her and we open ourselves up to healing, she then comes in like a flood. And healing begins to take place because we've let down those walls that we've built. We've just taken them down, kicked them down, broke them. And now healing can enter in and take place. So accept, feel, release, heal are 4 steps that I utilize to silence my mind or to stop ruminating. It really, really, really helps me. No joke, it helps me so much. I wish I could just paint a diagram to show you how much it helps me, but those 4 steps are like life-saving steps. Something else that I like to keep in mind when it comes to ruminating is that ruminating bombards us when we identify ourselves with things that we are not. Oh, that is so good. Ruminating enters into our minds when we identify ourselves with things that we are not. In other words, desiring to be someone else, or desiring to be like someone else, or desiring to have what someone else has. Oftentimes we can take this back to love as well. You see a husband and wife, or man and woman, and you want that, and you start to ruminate. You start to want that again, or wish for that, or wish that you were that person, So those are the dangers of ruminating. Those are the dangers of having a loud mind. So that's why it's very important to silence your mind, to stop ruminating. So never ever desire to be like anybody else, because who you are is unique. Who you are is special. Who you are is what the world needs. So we each have a little piece within us, a little piece of magic within us that the world needs. Some things to remember to help us silence our mind or to stop ruminating is that our mindset reflects who we are and the clarity that we have. My mind reflects who I am and the clarity that I have. Your mind reflects who you are and the clarity that you have. So when it comes to silencing your mind or my mind, we want to have a clear mind, because when we can have a clear mind, we not only think clearly, but we behave differently. We do things that are in a positive light rather than a negative light. We think in a positive manner. So that's why it's very, very important. So some things to help us stop ruminating or to help silence our mind, because like I said in the very beginning of the video, our mind goes nowhere. The mind is here, so we can't run from it. But we can control our mind rather than allowing our minds to control us. So some things that help me, another personal side note, but I know they'll help you too, is, mindfulness. Mindfulness, it really, really works. To just sit, it's kind of like meditating. It's like they intertwine, and also practicing gratitude kind of intertwines with mindfulness, because they're all within the same spectrum. And me being a writer and a poet, of course, I love journaling. Go and find the prettiest journal you can, one that just touches your heart, just strikes a chord within you. So that would require you to go to the bookstore. I'm a big supporter of books. Get out and support the bookstore. So find yourself a nice journal and just start writing. Write your feelings. Because when you can write your feelings, you can read your feelings. And when you can read your feelings, you can then analyze your feelings much easier. And when you can analyze your feelings, you can release your feelings, those negative thoughts, those negative feelings. And that's the key, because when we release, we heal. So mindfulness, meditation, journaling, yoga, practicing gratitude, and getting out and going to a bookstore or a nature park, anything along that spectrum of doing will help you silence your mind, will help you stop ruminating. I know it helped me. The 4 steps that I outlined to stop ruminating or to silence your mind are lifesavers. They are lifesavers, and they help me a whole lot. So I'm Katie Gates, and those are my steps on how to silence your mind or how to stop ruminating. Like I said, I'm Katie Gates, and thank you so much for being here. And if you're new here, welcome. Until next time, bye.